A Lonely Christmas and the Marshmallow Mustache Cure by hurtspideyparker. Peter was having a very boring Christmas. May was working a 12-hour shift, all his friends were busy with their families, and the streets were too quiet to patrol. It seems even criminals have a conscience. While the presents under the tree were strictly off limits, May did let him open his stocking on his own. Therefore, his special Christmas breakfast included a hot chocolate bomb and microwavable bacon, his lunch a festive green and red gummy bear salad, and dinner, he was honestly a bit sick of sweets, so boxed mac and cheese it was. Peter is browsing channels for a good Christmas special while the water boils when a knock booms through the apartment. Peter frowns, remote hanging limply in his hand, while he tries to recall if he's expecting someone. Sometimes Ms. Hackett from down the hall gets lonely and comes for tea. The knock sounds again, more impatiently, and Peter sets the remote down to answer the door. He opens it a crack and then freezes. Mr. Stark? He's in a nice coat, long and black with a collar and 3 buttons. His hair is fluffed up with specks of white, and his dark sunglasses have droplets of water from the melted snow. Hey, kid. Merry Christmas, or Hanukkah, or whatever. Happy holidays. Peter opens the door more fully now. He can see that Mr. Stark is holding something, several plastic bags stuffed heavily. Merry Christmas to you too. I didn't get you a gift or anything, was I supposed to? Tony looks down at the bags in his hands, like he forgot they existed. Oh, no, definitely not. This is a funny story, actually. You know, I have this big Christmas dinner at the tower every year. Beautifully catered food, all my friends around a big table. Pepper makes this delicious coffee cake for dessert. We drink, stuff our faces. The more drunk of us sing stupid holiday songs. It was really nice considering most of us don't have families to do that stuff with. He looks wistfully with eyes in the past. That sounds really nice, Mr. Stark, Peter says when Tony spends too much time lost in thought. Yeah, well, the band broke up this year. All my friends are gone, or hate me, or both. Pepper's in Florida with her parents, who also hate me, especially because all of the on-again, off-again stuff, so I definitely wasn't welcome there. Rhodey can't travel with his injuries, and He breaks off into a hysterical laughter and whining. Forgot to cancel the catering order. Peter's wide eyes stare at him in discomfort. The man only falls further into laughter, but the glisten in his eyes is anything but joyful. Eventually he calms, straightening up and showing off the bags in his hands. I have so much food, really nice, expensive, well-done food, for a big family of superhumans and spies, and I'm completely alone. I even offered Happy a Christmas bonus to stay and eat turkey, but apparently he actually has a family. You bribed Happy? Christmas bonus. He holds out the bags to Peter. Anyways, you're a growing boy, your aunt seems hard-working, you guys deserve nice food, so here, you take it. Peter's hands hesitated to reach out, but Tony simply dumps the bags into his twitching palms anyways, the boy nearly dropping from the unexpected handoff. It's untouched. There's turkey, ham, ribs, 3 types of potatoes, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce, extra gravy for nata, feta bites, balsamic glazed carrots, peas, corn, stuffing, fresh baked rolls. You get the idea. Just didn't want the food to go to waste, and I know your aunt can't cook to save her life, so... Actually, where is she? She'll probably be an adult and say hello. Peter stares in amazement and intimidation at the bags in his hands. He can now see they're full of food containers, dozens of them. She's not home. Holiday pay is pretty good, so she's at work. Tony takes his sunglasses off, blinking at the kid. Oh, so you're alone? That's depressing. Peter has to bite his tongue so he doesn't point out the older man's much lonelier, much more depressing predicament. Yep, I don't mind all that much. I'll see her later tonight and open presents. I've just been watching movies. And thank you so much for all this food, Mr. Stark. You didn't have to think of me. It's no problem, really. They both stand there for a moment. Tony looks around as if the chips in the doorframe are paintings at Le Louvre, and Peter stares at the man with his awkward posture and red-marked hands from carrying all the heavy food. Did you want to come in? I suppose I could spare a few minutes, Tony answers without delay, shoving past Peter into his home. Peter trails behind him with an amused smile. Tony takes in their sparse Christmas tree and poorly wrapped presents, the colourful lights Peter hung up around the apartment. Peter places everything on their small kitchen table. As he starts pulling out containers, he realises there won't be enough room and starts placing things on the counter too, quickly turning off the stove burner when he notices the water about to boil over in his pot from earlier. He moves the pot onto a back burner and tosses the mac and cheese box back in the cabinet, mouth watering at the smell of garlic mashed potatoes and honey roasted ham. I like your decorations. Peter looks up at the words, glancing around at the poorly homemade ornaments and dollar store decor around the house, as Tony continues speaking. You know, my mum always paid someone to decorate our tree. It had to be a real tree, and only in a silver and red colour scheme to match her tablecloth. They even measured the space between the ornaments so it was all even. Pretty. Tony starts to make himself comfortable, tugging off his coat and tossing his shoes and sunglasses near the front door. Yeah, I guess. A few years back, Steve asked when I was going to put up a Christmas tree in the tower living room, and I said I wasn't, which apparently was as bad as cursing out his mother, so he went out and bought one. But it was almost Christmas Day and I didn't have any ornaments, so he went back out and the only ones the store had left were pink and green glitter balls. Tony's voice is breathy from amusement. And that's what we've had ever since. This really ugly watermelon-themed thing with blue string lights, glitter dust everywhere, and a wire angel I made in about 5 minutes for the top. Sounds incredibly ugly, no offence. But they're both grinning as Peter opens the last container and gets out the utensils. It really was. Absolutely terrible. And yet we put it up every year. It's better than getting a stranger to try and warm your home for you. Holidays are for family, they're supposed to be a bit messed up. Tony turns to him, mouth half opened. I suppose you're right. Peter doesn't let the man dwell on it, pulling out 2 mismatched plates and shoving one his way. Here, thank you again, this is incredible. May will be really grateful too. He speaks through a smile. Tony returns it. No sweat, kid, would have gone to waste anyways. The pair fill up their plates to the brim, layering food upon food. What do you want to drink? There's water, iced tea, Coke? Peter asks as he pulls open the fridge. Scotch. He looks back at the man. No. An idea pops into the boy's head. Oh, I have hot chocolate bombs. They even come with pink marshmallows inside. Tony clears his throat. Yeah, close enough. Peter sprints to his stocking and grabs a couple more hot chocolate bombs, walking back to the cabinet and pulling out 2 mugs. Would it be weird to give him a mug with his own Iron Man face on it? Probably, so he pushes it aside and grabs one with a sloth wearing a Christmas hat for Mr. Stark instead. Go and sit on the couch, try to find us a good Christmas movie to watch, he calls when he notices the man hovering with a full plate. By the time he's prepared the hot chocolate, Tony is sitting awkwardly with the food in his lap. Die Hard has already started, but they only miss the first 7 minutes. This so does not count as a Christmas movie, he points out, setting the mugs on the coffee table and cozying up on the furniture with his giant plate of food. The commercial said this was a festive film marathon and the TV never lies. The older man watches Peter lean over the plate in his lap and shove piles of turkey and cranberry sauce in his mouth. Tony is terribly unpractised at the art of eating dinner on the couch, but mimics Peter with moderate success. The two settle in together on the couch and get lost in the fanfare of a middle-class Christmas. Peter? Peter groans, rubbing his eyes. Peter? The whisper insists. Huh? The boy mumbles, eyes scraping open to the sight of his aunt's warm face. Merry Christmas, he tries to enthuse, but his sleepy tongue weighs the words down. Merry Christmas, sweet pea. Why is Tony Stark napping on my couch? And why is there $1,000 of food consuming my kitchen? Peter stretches his body like a feline, yawning in tune with the strain of his muscles. His feet knock into something immediately, limiting their movement. He looks over to realise his socked feet are tangled with the dozing Mr. Stark's, both of them resting on opposite armrests of the couch. I think the tryptophan took us out. The TV is playing the credits to Die Hard 2, so they've been out for at least an hour. That's a myth, sweetie. You're much more likely to crash from all the carbs and blood sugar spike than some turkey. She stands up with a ruffle of his hair, and Peter can see she's still in her scrubs. Oh, right, well, it's a weird story. Tony shuffles in his sleep, face pressing into the couch cushion more, so May motions for Peter to follow her into the kitchen. Mr. Stark doesn't really have anyone. I think the Avengers were the only family he had, and since they've all left he's been pretty lonely. And every year they have this big Christmas dinner together, but he forgot to cancel the catering order now that he's all alone, so he brought it all over here. I think we're the only family he knows in New York or something. Peter scratches the back of his head and looks at May sheepishly. I see. He doesn't expect something in return, right? Because this is a lot. No, definitely not. I wouldn't really know how to repay a billionaire anyways. You think he wants hot chocolate bombs? Peter looks over at the sleeping Stark and the melted marshmallow in his moustache. I think we can show our appreciation by being good hosts. Why don't you pull out that throw blanket over him while I go change? And please put on a real Christmas movie, like The Grinch. Jim Carrey, please. May disappears down the hall and Peter does as he's told. He then prepares a nice big plate of food for May, heating it up in the microwave and packing the rest of the food to go in the fridge. It's a tough fit, but thankfully they didn't have a very plentiful refrigerator to begin with, so all the empty space gets filled quickly. By the time May is lounging on the living room chair and eating her food, Tony is blinking awake on the couch beside Peter. Oh, hello. Hi, sleep well? Tony sits up slowly, taking in his surroundings. The smiling teenager beside him, the woman in polar bear pyjamas across from him. Yes, sorry, I'm intruding. The kid just seemed lonely. I was only going to keep him company for a little bit. May and Peter shared a knowing look. Of course, thank you. And thank you for all the lovely food. It's far too generous. He waves a hand her way in dismissal. It's fine, they're practically leftovers. He describes the previously untouched full-course meal. Well, I think it's about time to open presents. Apologies we don't have anything for you, Mr. Stark, but I don't want to keep Peter waiting any longer. Tony looks at the few presents under the tree, some in nice Star Wars wrapping paper, and some in a terrible mismatch of too much tape and awkward folds that screams the handiwork of a teenage boy. Call me Tony, and I'm the one who's sorry for intruding on your holiday. I'll thank you for... sorry. He goes to stand up, but Peter grabs his arm and pulls him back down. No, stay, Peter insists, slinking over the cushions to whisper in Tony's ear. Don't tell her, but I peeked at my gifts and saw a Lego Transformers box. We can build it together, right? Tony hesitates. Please, stay. I think I have some of those Pillsbury cookies in the freezer, actually. Let me preheat the oven. It's the least we can do to thank you for the food. Peter, grab the presents. The Parkers are moving around the room in a flurry. Tony's stomach is content and full, the dark air outside welcoming to the snow flurries and reflection of the Christmas lights. The Grinch is menacing about on the screen, and Peter's bed head peeks out from underneath the tree as all the gifts shuffle around in his arms. The man settles back onto the couch. Tony, what would you like to drink? I think I have some red wine somewhere. A smile warms Tony's face as Peter settles down on the floor surrounded by his gifts, bouncing up and down and touching delicately at the wrapping paper in anticipation. Actually, do you have any more hot chocolate? Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed, and happy holidays to everyone who celebrates. Have a lovely rest of your day.